Inside PressBox is presented by Friedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to FriedmontMortgage.com for all of your mortgage needs. And welcome to another edition of Inside PressBox presented by Friedmont Mortgage. I'm your host, Stan the Fan Charles, and what a show we got for you. The Charm City Heroes Antiques and Collectibles show at the Pikesville Hilton a few months ago was one of the most successful shows to come to the area. It was so highly received that Schulte Auctions and MABcelebrities.com are bringing Charm City Heroes 2 to the Pikesville Hilton September 30th to October 2nd. Ray Schulte will join me later in the show to talk about who and what you can see at the show. Gary Adornato, an old friend of Varsity Sports Network, will also be joining me. We'll talk about the high school scene and the success that Varsity Sports Network is. And also, hockey is a sport that is on the rise in the Baltimore area as interest in the Washington Capitals grows more and more each year. It makes me think back to the days of one of Baltimore's home teams, the Clippers. Had it not been for issues surrounding the Civic Center, Baltimore could have been a hotbed for the National Hockey League. We'll see how people react on September 20th when hockey returns to Baltimore. Joining me right now to talk a little bit about the Classic is Gilles Boisvert, former goaltender of the Baltimore Clippers. Gilles, how are you?
Pretty good, Stan. It was nice to see you again
it's good to
after
see
all
you,
these
buddy.
years.
It really is. You brought, first of all, I got to pick this up. This is Gilles brought in his mask from back in, and do
60.
we have that picture? I think we have a picture of Gilles that we're going to show. This was Gilles with the Detroit Red Wings. What were you, the backup goaltender to Terry Sawchuk?
That's correct, yes.
Boy.
The first year was Glenn Hall.
Right.
Then when he traded for Sawchuk again,
that's right.
And it was Terry. And then that's the year I replaced him for a 3-game. He was hurt.
Now, let me ask you a question. Most NHL observers probably don't know the name Gilles Boisvert, but the level of talent, there were only 6 teams in the National Hockey League back in those days. That meant even the guys that were in Hershey, Providence, Springfield, Rochester, Cleveland were pretty darn good hockey players.
You bet. You know, you only had 6 top goaltenders, so you had maybe a dozen more that played American League.
Right.
That could have played in National League any time.
Yeah.
Like me, when I went to Detroit, I was behind Sawchuk and Glenn Hall. So, you know. 2
of the greatest goaltenders of all time.
I spent my time in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And then when they called me up, it was in 1959. And it's a funny story. We were playing in Buffalo. So we beat Buffalo. We had overtime then. So after the game, we went back to the hotel. So we didn't play for 2-3 games. So we had a few, and we got to the hotel late at night. And matter of fact, there was a big fire. So we look at the fire because some of the firemen knew Ron Ingram and a couple of the guys. So we said, have coffee, donuts. And then, so I walk in my room about 6:30 that morning. So we get in the bus. It was Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day to us in Canada was never a big deal.
Right.
Now I know what it is.
Right.
So we're on the bus, then we got stopped by a state trooper. So we're giving the bus driver a hard time, you know. How can you go that fast? You had a dog peeing on your back wheel, you know. So he tells the bus driver, he said, look, he says, you got to stop at the Howard Johnson. It's important you call your bus right away. So we get there, and we waited for an hour because you couldn't get a line. So all the players were where you have been traded. No big deal. So the guy said to me, he says, it's all your fault. I said, what do you mean? He says, you got to go back to Detroit and play tonight. So
that's when you made your NHL debut.
So they dropped me in Syracuse, and I said, I got to eat something. The restaurant is packed. It's Thanksgiving, you know. I got on the plane. I got 2 bowls of soup. I get to Detroit at 7 o'clock. The game at 7:30, and I had a policeman up there. Was a hockey fancy, you know, on a motorcycle. So he got in front of the cab, and we made it.
And you made it. Did you win?
No, Montreal beat us 3-2, but that's when Montreal had the big team then.
Now, we only have a couple minutes. Yep. Tell me about Baltimore as a hockey town. We alluded to that in the opening. Had it not been for the Civic Center, tell us about it.
Exactly. I was telling you before, I mean, when I came here, it was unbelievable. Even the year before, they were averaging 9,000 people a game. So when I come in, you know, like I was telling you, 9,000, 10,000 people was nothing.
Yeah.
And then when Campbell came in, and
he was the commissioner,
of the National League,
right?
And there was about 6, 7 of us there, the players, and he came in the building, look around, he says, "No way," and he walked out.
That was how long that meeting took.
Yeah.
And was Zan Krieger in that meeting?
Yes, and Jake
Embry
was there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this building has been an albatross around the city's neck for a long time, but there's still hockey fans in this
Oh
town.
my God.
And they're going to pack the place next week against the Nashville Predators, Capitals and the Predators. Are you going to be there?
Yes, we will. And matter of fact, I have to provide rental skate for. They're going to have a skating at the
arena
on Sunday afternoon. I
Right.
call it the Civic Center. You know,
Right.
Because to bring a company that they're going to have all their help there to come in, and so that's going to be a start. And the game's going to be pretty good. And you're surprised how many people from Baltimore go to Washington.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of people.
I
that
go to
there.
Washington and I run into some of the Baltimore people.
Let me ask you a question. We got about 45 seconds. What was it like to take one off of this mask?
Well, I'll tell you what. I got it maybe 4 or 5 times in my life. It's like if I would come to you with a hammer and hit you in the forehead.
Yep.
You see birds.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But you came back. If you were scared, then forget it.
Can you put it on before we let you go?
It don't fit me anymore.
There we go. There's Gilles Boisvert.
Yeah.
He's kind of the Phantom of the Opera.
I'm
Gilles, thank you very much. I'm going to have you in again sometime.
Thank you,
all right?
Stan.
It's
Thank you
really
very
great
much.
to have
My
you on.
pleasure.
Hey, kick off the football season right. That's right at our Stoley touchdown zone at the corner of Sharp and Ostend Streets, the biggest pre- and post-game tent party in Baltimore, featuring a full bar, wine, and tailgate. Food is great prices, just 2 blocks from M&T Bank Stadium. Go to PressBoxOnline.com for complete details.